পৃষ্ঠা ৩৫৯ প্রজেক্ট পৃষ্ঠা ৩৬০ Listening and speaking activity. Language skills. There are 4 types of language skills: listening, speaking, reading and writing. Listening and reading are receptive skills. Speaking and writing are productive skills. Listening. Listening plays an important role in learning a language. Listening is the first skill that a child learns. A child gets exposed to the world of language through listening. If we want to learn a language, we should be active listeners. But up to class 10, this skill is neglected. Much importance is attached to reading and writing in assessing the learner's achievement. It is assumed that learners would develop the skill automatically. However, it is a huge task to develop listening skills without adequate exposure to spoken language. Listening cannot be taught or learnt without using the target language for classroom transactions. Input-rich classrooms, planned lessons and trained teachers can change the situation by making the learners active in English classes. Input-rich classrooms, planned lessons and trained teachers can change the situation by making the learners active in English classes. Excessive use of the mother tongue in delivering a lesson may be harmful in developing listening. What is listening? Listening is an active process involving the speaker, the medium, and the listener. The process is given below: input, arrow, processing, arrow, output. Input, words of the speaker. Output, the listener's response. Processing, decoding the input within bracket sounds plus body language plus tone to extract the meaning of the message. Types of processing. 1. Bottom-up processing. We depend solely on the input for meaning. First, we organize the sound signals into words. Then we organize the phrases and clauses. Finally, we get the full sentence. In this type of processing, the meaning depends on grammatical competence and stock of words. Let us take an example. Input: Rita prepares her lesson in the morning. Step 1. Rita prepares her lesson in the morning. From sounds to words. Step 2. Rita prepares her lesson in the morning. From words to sense groups. 2. Top-down processing. In this process, the listener's background knowledge and global understanding make the input meaningful. The listener can understand and interpret the message. For example, input: it was raining heavily, Ashit was late at school. The italicized part, that is raining and heavily, offers an explanation for Ashit being late. The listener can interpret the message by using background knowledge. Active listening. It is a challenging task to be an active listener. To listen actively means to listen wholeheartedly, with an active body and mind, in response to a speaker's message. It helps us to comprehend the speaker's message and respond accordingly. It is an effective skill that enables us to connect genuinely with others, handle difficult situations, create personal and professional opportunities, and strengthen relationships. To be good communicators, we should be active listeners. Importance of listening. We live in a multilingual and multicultural world. We have our own regional languages, so we need a common language to communicate with other linguistic communities. In a multilingual situation, English can serve as a link language. So we have to develop our communication skills in English. Listening is the first step to effective communication in English. As English is not our mother tongue and we don't have enough scope to listen to English speaking people around us, Prishta 361. We should try to focus on maximizing the opportunity to listen to the spoken variety of English. Listening is important for the following reasons. 1. Effective communication. Active listening improves our understanding of the message. It reduces misunderstandings and errors. As a result, we can communicate effectively. 2. Building relationships. Active listening shows that we value and respect the speaker. It is essential for strengthening interpersonal relationships. 3. Resolving conflicts. Listening gives us exposure to multiple views and perspectives, out of which we can find the most rational solution to the conflicting situation. 4. Improves productivity. Careful listening saves time and enhances productivity. 5. Learning and development. Learning and development depend on how effectively we listen to others' experiences and knowledge. It can broaden our understanding and develop our personality. 6. Supports decision making. Listening to a wide range of views and perspectives is very helpful in decision making. 7. Enhances emotional stability. The more we get exposed to contrary views, we learn to be emotionally stable. We understand emotions, feel empathy for others, and learn to control our own emotions. 8. Boosts creativity. Listening may give birth to innovative ideas and stimulate our creativity. Types of listening. There are 2 types of listening: casual listening and focused listening. 1. Casual listening. Listening to a person or something without any purpose. It is rather careless listening. We live in a world of sounds, so we often get exposed to words spoken everywhere around us. We generally do not listen to those words attentively unless we hear something interesting. This type of listening occurs in a social context. 2. Focused listening. Intensive listening with a purpose. In transacting our business, we listen to carefully and attentively for information or understanding. We pay full attention to the speech for our own benefit as a learner or a worker. This type of listening occurs in institutions or workplaces. একটা ছক দেওয়া আছে, different types of listening talks. Listening tasks. Your teacher will play an audio clip or read aloud a text and ask you to answer some questions. Task type. Audio description. Description. Your teacher will play a short audio clip and ask you to describe what you have heard. Your teacher may ask you to describe some aspects of the text. Next, multiple choice. Your teacher will play a short audio clip and ask you to answer some multiple choice questions. Sequencing of events. Your teacher may read aloud a text and ask you to arrange some statements in order of sequence. Fill in the blanks. Your teacher may provide you with a transcript with missing words and ask you fill them in while listening. True or false? After playing an audio text, your teacher may ask you to identify the true or false statements. Listen and draw. Your teacher may ask you to draw a diagram or picture following the audio instructions. Note taking. Your teacher may ask you to take notes on the key points while listening. Listen and match. After presenting an audio clip, your teacher may ask to match columns after listening. Listen and solve. Your teacher may ask you to solve a problem after listening. Comparative study. You may be asked to make a comparative study of two different things on hearing audio clips. Prishtha 362. Some tasks for developing listening. 1. Your teacher will tell you an incomplete story. Listen to the story attentively and guess the remaining part. Now your teacher will read out the actual story. See how much you differ from the actual story. 2. Listen to the recorded version of the poem and answer the questions in a worksheet. 3. Listen to a speech by an eminent person and answer the questions in a worksheet. 4. Listen to a recorded conversation and answer the questions in a worksheet. 5. Listen to an advertisement for a job and write down the eligibility criteria. 6. Draw a diagram following an oral description. You may visit the following website to improve your listening skills. https://learnenglish.britishcouncil.org/skills/listening/A1 listening. মোট 5টি ওয়েবসাইট দেওয়া আছে। স্পিকিং. Learning a language means learning to communicate effectively and appropriately. In face-to-face communication, listening and speaking are equally important. We have to listen carefully and purposefully before we start speaking. To a language learner, it is really difficult to speak in a foreign language. In classroom situations, learners get little time to express themselves. So they develop a reactive inhibition that comes in the way of speaking. They don't feel free to use English in actual conversation. Fluency is often hampered at the cost of accuracy. Students, teachers, and guardians lay much importance on controlled drills of grammatical structures and explanations of rules. This practice is to be changed. Learning the language is more important than learning about the language. The learners are not given opportunities to communicate by using English. So we need to introduce skill-oriented activities to develop the learner's performance. Importance of speaking. It is very important to be a good speaker. A good speaker can inspire, motivate, ignite, preach and empower the listeners in various ways. Try to be a good speaker for the following reasons. 1. Effective communication. Be careful about your speech. To make your speech effective, express yourself clearly, logically, and convincingly. Remember, your words will convey your thoughts and feelings, ideas and ideals. So arrange every part of your speech, maintaining coherence and sequence. Effective communication should be your goal. It fosters understanding and ensures successful interaction. Avoid ambiguous statements to reduce misunderstandings. Be confident and consistent from the beginning to the end. Pay attention to the target listeners and their language ability. 2. Academic development. Speaking is essential for academic success. Your speech will reflect your personality. You are a part of classroom transactions. Take part in classroom activities, group discussions, and debates. Try to express your views confidently. Your active participation will help you in sharing knowledge with others and improve your power of elocution. 3. Professional development. Effective speaking is of great value in professional development. In job interviews, customers meet, public dealings, and collaborative activities, a good speaker achieves success. Much of your professional achievement depends on your speaking skills. Remember, an eloquent speaker can win all hearts. 4. Building relationships. A good talker is a lovable person. Speaking widens the scope of building interpersonal relationships and meaningful interaction. It is essential for establishing rapport and highlighting your goodness. It is important for inspiring trust and convincing others. 5. Influencing others. A good speaker can persuade and influence others. Speech leaves a lasting impact on others. It is essential for developing leadership qualities. 6. Clarifying thoughts. Speaking allows us to encode our thoughts and clarify our own ideas. It promotes better understanding and self-expression. পৃষ্ঠা 363. Number 7. Addressing the public. Speaking skills are essential for addressing a large audience in a public meeting, convention, seminar, or mass awareness program. 8. Boosting creativity. Speaking stimulates creativity through sharing ideas and thoughts, leading to new insights and innovations. 9. Critical thinking. Speaking prepares the ground for critical thinking as it involves analysis and organization of ideas. 10. Feedback. Speaking elicits feedback, helps to resolve conflicts and improves further communication. Some tips for speaking. 1. How to start a conversation. You should keep in mind how to start a formal speech or conversation. Use such expressions: good morning, afternoon, evening to all. Welcome, everyone. Hope you are all well. Respected ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, etc. 2. Knowledge of the listeners. You must think about your target audience and their expectations. 3. The social context. Different social contexts, that is, age, social status, social relationships, etc., demand different language items. 4. The cooperative principle. As a speaker, you must draw the attention of the listeners to your speech so that they make efforts to understand. Follow the maxims mentioned below. The maxim of quantity. Make your speech as informative as possible. The maxim of quality. Remember, your speech should be based on evidence. The maxim of relation. Be relevant. The maxim of manner. Avoid obscurity and ambiguity. Try to be brief and orderly. 5. Linguistic devices. You must produce language only within the range of resources available. Make your speech understandable. 6. Balancing conversation. Use expressions like okay, right, so, etc. to balance conversation. 7. Change of topic. If you want to change your topic, use expressions like quote, by the by, unquote, quote, okay, now I will pass on to ... unquote, etc. 8. Stress, rhythm and intonation. Stress, rhythm and intonation help in conveying meaning. While speaking, you should be careful about stress, rhythm and intonation. 9. Speed. Don't be very fast in delivery. Speak at such a speed that all can follow you. 10. End. You should conclude your speech properly. এখানে একটা ছক দেওয়া রয়েছে, some typical speaking tasks, task type, description. 1. Introducing yourself. Introduce yourself and use a quote, tagline, unquote, that is, hi, I am Shukonna from Delhi. Describing a picture. Your teacher will show you a picture and ask you to describe what the picture conveys. 3. Storytelling. You will be given clues to tell a story. You have to use proper expressions to make your story interesting. 4. Presentation. You may be asked to deliver a speech on a topic. You may use charts and models. 5. Debates. A topic will be given. You have to present your arguments and counter-arguments. 6. Interviews. You have to play the role of a candidate in a mock interview. 7. Discussions. You may be asked to take part in discussion on various topics. 8. Comparing and contrasting. You may be asked to show similarities and differences between ideas, objects, or concepts. 9. Summing up a conversation. After presenting a conversation, you will be asked to summarize. 10. Sharing opinion. You may be asked to share your views on an issue. 11. Role plays. You will be asked to play the role of a type character, that is, a customer or shopkeeper, a doctor or a patient, etc. পৃষ্ঠা 364. There are various other tasks for developing speaking skills: news report, product review, explaining an event, describing a model, personal views on current affairs, reflecting on a quote, speaking about an abstract topic, describing your travel experience, describing a place of importance, impromptu speech, and so on. Some specific tasks for classroom transaction. For classroom, some specific tasks for classroom transactions. 1. Can you tell me or us a story with animal characters? Number 2. Reproduce in your own language the folk tale, quote, a ghostly wife, unquote. 3. Describe what the three witches predict when Macbeth and Banquo are returning from the battlefield. 4. Summarize the conversation between the warden and Jimmy Valentine. 5. Reproduce in your own language the astrologer's encounter with his client. 6. Suppose you are a patient and your friend is a doctor. Now start a conversation. 7. Deliver a speech on the high price of essential commodities. 8. Present your views on any one of the following topics. 1. Global warming. 2. Biodiversity loss. 9. Present your observations on the conditions of rivers in your locality. 10. Share your views on the need for conservation of forests. More tasks for speaking. Tasks and activities for speaking examinations vary a lot. You may be asked to perform different types of tasks. Check the link below to watch videos for speaking tasks. https://britishcouncil.org/exams/speaking exams/typical speaking tasks. Event report. Tasks. 1. As the regional marketing manager of a reputed medicine company, prepare a report on the progress of sales in the first quarter of the financial year 2024 to 2025. Mention the following points: target, achievements, failures, causes behind failure or success, strategies to be adopted for growth in future. 2. As the ground engineer of a construction company, submit a completion report of a multi-storied market complex in Shiliguri. Include expenditure, duration, quality of work, and your observations. 3. Suppose you are the supervisor of a project. Write a report on a project of solid waste disposal management to be implemented shortly. Mention landed area chosen as the site, proposed cost, time duration, machines to be installed, etc.